it's day 2 for me along the Colombian-Venezuelan border. Different bridge and different border crossing today, although still in the Cucuta region. This area is called Escobal?
Escobal.
Okay, and I think it's a perfect time to introduce my guide for the day. Joe, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, what's going on? My name is Joe, Canadian, local resident here in Cucuta for the last 10 years almost, and I've been working with different entities here in regards to the Venezuelan migratory crisis for the last few years, as this has been, growing on a daily basis. And well, accompanying you today with whatever information you need to know about the area and the crisis.
Thank you, and there's a lot of information I need to know about the area and the crisis.
Yeah.
What about your organization? You want to plug it really quickly?
Okay, well my organization is, Express Yourself. It's a language solutions organization, so we offer classes, we offer different skills, or we could say services related to language. But apart from that, we also offer translation and interpretation services. So that's one of the things that we're doing today, helping you, so you can communicate with the locals and get an idea of everything that's going on here.
And I'll put a link in the description below to your organization. So yesterday I was on the Puente Internacion.
We're gonna come over here. So we have here our background and migration here. You see we're right on the border.
Oh yeah, migración again.
Yeah.
I saw that everywhere yesterday.
Yeah,
but I wanted to get this in the background. I was on the Puente Internacional yesterday, but that was a different international bridge. That was the Simon Bolivar Bridge, and to some extent I think I mixed up these two bridges. So this bridge is, which bridge is this?
This is the Francisco de Paula Santander Bridge. This is the bridge where, if memory serves me right, the 27th of February or the 23rd of February, 25th February, near the end of February, I can't remember the exact date, is when they had the big Venezuela aid with Richard Branson promoting the concert, and the idea was to collect funds to help to bring humanitarian aid to Venezuela. Turned into a very polarized, politicalized event, which ended up in the burning of one of the transports, which was carrying a full load of humanitarian aid, was burned here on this bridge. There are different, we were talking before.
We're gonna get into that momentarily.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I did not have the facts correct. I was saying that that incident happened on the Simon Bolivar Bridge, on which I was yesterday, and on which there was this little trailer that I thought had been burnt, but I guess it wasn't, and it might be connected to this incident.
Yeah, it was connected because it was just a water tank, like a cistern water tank truck that they had put up there to try and block the passageway of the trucks after the event. However, it wasn't that publicized event where, with those pictures of the transport burning. That actually happened on this bridge, and very shortly you'll be able to see the chassis there of that truck. Okay,
so let's head on to the bridge, presuming we're allowed to. Yeah, we're not crossing out of
as long as we stay on this side of the border, we're okay. I'm allowed to cross because I'm Canadian, and I have Colombian residency. I'm allowed to cross. There's no problem. You, unfortunately, since you come from the terrible, you're a gringo, and you come from the land of the Yankees.
Someone set off the gringo alarm yesterday when I was on the other bridge.
So since you're gringo, you're not allowed to go into Venezuela. You need to have a visa, and that visa those visas are never approved by the Venezuelan government. And if you were to cross the border, taking into consideration your occupation, doing videos, they're probably automatically going to assume you're a spy, you're doing something like that, and they're going to put you in jail, or you're going to be in a lot of problems and in a situation you don't want to be in. So we're not going to get into that. We're going to stay on the Colombian side of the border for now. But you can see pretty much everything.
That was narrowly avoided yesterday.
Yeah, I saw some of those pictures.
Fully avoid that today.
You were on the wrong side of the tracks yesterday.
Okay, I was not aware of that. Lots needs to be cleared up today.
Yeah,
all right,
let's
continue on.
So this is.
All right, we're on the bridge, getting close to the center, and where are we with respect to what was happening in February?
Okay, so in February, what they did, the Maduro government closed the Tienditas Bridge, which was the international modern bridge that was built and never inaugurated, that basically the focal point for all what was going to be the transit of any merchandise across the country. This was going to be just basically for cars, but because all the humanitarian effort was being stored at that bridge, the Venezuelan opposition decided to take the transports and bring them across to these bridges and try to force them across this bridge. They encountered Venezuelan guards on the other side who were not letting them pass, and then that's when all the chaos broke out, and in the end, just a few hundred meters down this bridge here is where the transport was burned, and this is where all the you-know-what hit the fan.
All right, I just walked through customs. Didn't have to show anything, but as far as I understand, it's this Migración booth right there is customs. It's not for showing passports or ID, right?
That's over here on the Colombian side for the Venezuelans coming in here. If you're a Venezuelan or Colombian going into Venezuela, once you cross the bridge and get over the other side, that's where the Venezuelan side has their setup over there, and that's where they go through meticulously through the bags, and if they want, they will charge people, they were extortions, charge them money for the product that they're crossing, etc. But they do all that on that side where only they can see. And
this setup is pretty much nearly identical to that on the Simon Bolivar Bridge.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We've got the white Migración fenced off area in the middle and the tents, and you even have this what looks like is that a shipping container or is it just something painted?
No, they're shipping containers that are painted with the Venezuelan flag.
But this is a different bridge, so okay, can we do a little bit of a play-by-play of the event that happened here in February?
So if you notice that on the other side there, you can see like there's a structure that should have like a welcome to Venezuela or something there.
Yeah.
So that's.
I'm gonna try to zoom in on that. But okay.
Watch out there. Is that? Disculpe.
Yeah.
So that's basically where a few meters back, almost right where those containers are, a little bit further down there, was where the truck got to. The truck got to that level, right? As a student from the institute. So the truck got to that right about that place. The Venezuelan guard, they held their ground along the Venezuelan border right there, and this is on this side is where all the supporters were trying to help, force it across. And in that chaos was when the truck was set on fire and it burned right there on the bridge.
And I for sure don't know definitively what happened, but now my memory's been triggered a bit, and the New York Times did obtain some footage not too long after, which appears to show a man or a young man who was standing, somewhere around here?
Yeah, right around, maybe a little further down that way, because, he threw the bottle there.
And he had, a Molotov cocktail?
Yeah, with a Molotov cocktail. He threw it, and the video clearly shows in the video, shortly after leaving his hand, the separation of the bottle and the rag. And the rag was obviously, if you know how a Molotov cocktail works, it's a flammable liquid put inside a bottle with some type of rag that is doused in the liquid, which allows it to maintain the fire. When they throw it and the glass breaks and the liquid goes everywhere, then it explodes. As he threw the bottle with the cloth in it, you can clearly see in the video the cloth separate, and the New York Times report came to the conclusion that it was actually one of the supporters of the coalition that caught it on fire. There are no hard facts to say that the Venezuelan government. Obviously, the Venezuelan government received the short end of the stick on that side. Well, in all due case. Very well deserved. They do deserve to be blamed for it, because they should have just opened the border. It's humanitarian aid, you know what I mean? Like, people are suffering and dying over there for lack of medicine and lack of supplies on a daily basis. Why wouldn't you let, I'm sure any developed country, if I came to the United States and I told the United States, here, listen, we want to donate 10,000 machines for one or another reason, they would have no reason not to. But the Venezuelan government was at a point where they did not want to formally recognize that they were going through crisis or having humanitarian problems, and so they wouldn't allow the aid to come across as well, because it came from the United States, and they were making claims that it was all, they were trying to poison the Venezuelan people, and they were trying, they make up crazy stories.
So basically, from your perspective, not that it's definitive, but the evidence seems to suggest that it was a supporter of the aid convoy who unintentionally lit it on fire. So I mean, the claims at the same time that it was a false flag probably don't add up.
Yeah,
well,
like I said,
we don't know for sure.
Yeah,
but,
well, what we can say is there's absolutely, like, we don't have any hard evidence to say the Venezuelan government did it. Logically, it seems to be a really stupid move for them to do something like that, right? It's one thing for them to not let it in, another thing for them to burn it on the bridge. That wasn't public relations nightmare for them, right? Although they don't have, the best history on public relations, but they're also not the type of people to, make, they're very intelligent about the types of moves that they make. So a move like that, I think, would be very rash on their part. However, it happened. It was unfortunate, but it did actually help, bring the public eye and more people to hear about the crisis that the Venezuelans are going through and so forth. So, maybe on one side of the thing, it was a good thing. And
is there, I don't know how far we can walk.
We can keep walking, I'll tell you.
Are there any remains of that incident here, or no?
There were for a good long time now. It seems like they moved this. I think what they did is they moved this container closer so that people couldn't see that, because the burnt chassis was there. But we should just ask somebody if it's still there, to see it.
I don't think I can't walk past this point.
Well, there's no Venezuelan guard here, so we're okay for right now. We can just come over here. We can just stand right here for now. Right?
So as you can see, right at the edge of this no man's land area, very similar setup to the Simon Boulevard Bridge, and I guess we'll try to find out.
No, it's okay. It's gone.
Okay, so
just the only thing that's over there, just the two containers.
All right, so the remains are gone, but now you got to look at the setup of the, it's called the the Santander Bridge, where this pretty infamous truck incident happened. Whoa. I'm stumbling over my words. This pretty infamous incident with the truck catching on fire, happened right here where these people are crossing.